10 Ways to Save Your iPhone's Battery. Easy methods to make use of your iPhone longer. Most iPhones should be recharged each couple of days, if not each single day. There are methods to preserve iPhone battery life, and lots of contain turning off providers and options. One option to get forward is to display your iPhone's battery life as a percentage, so you'll be able to monitor it extra simply. Stop background app refresh. There are a number of options that make the iPhone smarter and prepared once you want it. One in every of these options is background app refresh. This characteristic appears to be like on the apps you utilize most frequently and the time of day that you just use them. Then it updates these apps in order that the subsequent time you open a kind of apps, the newest info is ready for you. For instance, for those who verify social media at 7:30 a.m., iOS learns that and mechanically updates social apps earlier than that point. This convenient characteristic drains battery. To show off background app refresh on the iPhone, open the Settings app, go to Basic > Background app refresh, then select Background app refresh > off. Or, toggle the choice off for particular apps solely. Purchase and prolonged life battery. One other option to save iPhone battery life is to get extra battery. Accent makers comparable to Mophie supply prolonged life batteries for the iPhone. In the event you want a lot battery life that none of the following tips assist, and prolonged life battery provides extra days of standby time and extra hours of use. Do not mechanically replace apps. On iOS 7 or newer, disable the characteristic that mechanically updates apps as new variations are launched. It is a comfort and a battery drainer. Update apps manually when the battery is absolutely charged, however, in any other case, flip off automated app updates. To show off automated app updates, open the Settings app, Faucet iTunes and App Retailer, then flip off updates. Do not take app options. Instructed apps, launched in iOS 8, makes use of your location to determine the place you might be and what you are close to. It makes use of this info to find out which apps you would possibly need to use, primarily based on the place you might be. For instance, get Walgreens alerts once you're close to a kind of shops. This characteristic makes use of further battery life to take care of your location and talk with the app retailer. This characteristic was managed within the Settings app, however moved to Notification Heart in iOS 10. To disable instructed apps in iOS 10, swipe down from the highest of the display screen to open Notification Heart. Swipe to the left to the right Now View. Scroll to the underside and Faucet Edit. Select the pink icon subsequent to Siri app options. Faucet Takeaway, then Faucet Completed. Use content material blockers in Safari. The most effective options launched in iOS 9 is the flexibility to DAM promoting and monitoring cookies in Safari. The applied science is utilized by promoting networks to serve, show, and observe advertisements makes use of lots of battery life. The quantity of battery energy saved by blocking advertisements and cookies is not as important as different battery saving ideas. Nonetheless, together with a small enhance in battery life, the Safari browser runs quicker and makes use of much less information. Activate auto brightness. The iPhone has an ambient mild sensor that adjusts the brightness of the display screen primarily based on the sunshine around it. This sensor turns the display screen darker in darkish locations and brighter when there's extra ambient mild. This protects battery and makes the telephone simpler to make use of. Flip auto brightness on to save lots of power. As a result of your display screen might want to use much less energy in darkish locations. To activate auto brightness in iOS 13 and later, open the Settings app, go to Accessibility > Show and Textual Content Dimension, then scroll down and Faucet Auto Brightness. In iOS 12 and iOS 11, open the Settings app, go to Basic > Accessibility > Show Lodging, then Faucet Auto Brightness. For iOS 10 and older units, open the Settings app, Faucet Show and Brightness, or Brightness and Wallpaper in iOS 7, then activate Auto Brightness. Cut back display brightness. The brightness of the iPhone display screen has an impact on battery life. The brighter the show is, the extra energy it requires. Maintain the display screen as dim as doable to save lots of battery life. To scale back the display screen brightness, open the Settings app, go to Show and Brightness, or Brightness and Wallpaper in iOS 7, and drag the brightness slider to the left. Cease movement and animations. One of many coolest options launched in iOS 7 is known as background movement. It is refined. Transfer the iPhone and watch the app icons and background picture transfer independently of one another as if on completely different planes. This parallax impact is neat to point out often, it makes the telephone appear extra alive. Nonetheless, it affords little functionally and takes a toll on an iPhone battery. Plus, disabling this further movement on an iPhone can reduce motion sickness for some people. To show off background movement in iOS 12 and up, open Settings, and go to Accessibility greater than Movement, and toggle on Cut Back Movement. For iOS 11 and beneath, open Settings, Faucet Basic greater than Accessibility greater than Cut Back Movement, then activate Cut Back Movement. Disable Wi-Fi when you do not want it. Wi-Fi has advantages and may save battery life if the Wi-Fi sign is stronger than the mobile sign. Retaining Wi-Fi turned on a regular basis to search out an open hotspot drains the battery. Connect with Wi-Fi when it is accessible. In the event you're not around a Wi-Fi community, like when touring, disable Wi-Fi to save lots of battery on the iPhone. To disable Wi-Fi, open the Settings app, choose Wi-Fi, then flip off Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi will also be turned off from Management Heart. Swipe down from the highest of the display screen, or up from the underside, relying on the iPhone mannequin, then faucet the Wi-Fi icon to make it gray. This tip would not apply to Apple Watch. Wi-Fi is required for a lot of options of the Apple Watch, so do not flip Wi-Fi off. Make certain private hotspot is off. Private hotspot turns an iPhone right into a hotspot that broadcasts its mobile information to different units inside Fairy. It is a helpful characteristic, nevertheless it additionally drains the battery. Particularly for those who do not flip the hotspot off once you're completed. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe. Don't forget to share.